What's going on, everybody? So in this video, we are going to be talking about what's going on in the market, some major NFT updates, and some up-and-coming projects you definitely don't want to miss. All right, first of all, let's go ahead and talk about the market sentiment. Ethereum kind of going down a little bit. Market not really too exciting. Went from like 1.3 to 1.2. So I would say the trend is going downwards. I don't really see why it would go up over the next, let's say, 1 or 2 months. That's just my guess, but hey, who knows, right? I would say like retail, like there's not many new people coming into the space that want to buy NFTs, but I would also add from back-end perspective, there's just a lot of money being put into building side, and so we'll definitely be covering that in this video. First one we're going to talk about is going to be Opensea announces a partnership with Warner Music Group. So long story short, essentially Opensea wants to be the platform when it comes to buying and selling NFTs, just like eBay is the place to go for buying and selling secondhand stuff, right? And so what they're essentially doing is they are going to be helping the artists under Warner basically launch and build their NFT collections. It's almost as if they're kind of providing agency services, whether it's development, advising, community, building, marketing, right? And they're going to try to help these artists properly build into the Web3 space. And if you think about it, if an artist from Warner who doesn't have any experience in NFTs wants to get into NFTs, you know, a lot of times they may not have that right advice. They might do it the wrong way. They might just end up looking like a cash grab. So I hope that OpenSea does it properly. I hope they advise them in the right way to actually build real utility, real value, and not just launch an NFT just to launch an NFT. And another collaboration that's going on is going to be KITH and Invisible Friends are going to be collaborating with BMW, which is pretty big because that means that BMW is officially moving into NFTs. Maybe BMW sees that there's a future in NFTs. They see all these luxury brands getting into NFTs like Tiffany & Co, Hublot, Takashi Murakami, and they're like, hey, I want to get on the action too. So what's probably happening is that they want to dip their toes in. They don't want to go all in and start a collection off the bat because maybe they want to learn about how the space works first. And by collaborating with Invisible Friends, which have a reputation in that space for being more cleaner, family friendly, and something you can test out, I personally think that's the reason for why they're doing this collaboration. And I think outside of the NFT side, KITH is also collaborating with BMW as well. You can see on their website, they have a official collaboration coming soon. So, you know, if you think about it, KITH is not cheap. I actually do have a couple pieces from KITH, like shorts and stuff. It's like $120 for like a pair of shorts, right? So it's actually not that cheap at all. If you're trying to get the more affluent person to want to buy a BMW, by doing a collaboration for BMW, it's almost like a form of marketing to get people to be like, hey, BMW is cool again. And so if you think about it from that perspective, then this is marketing into the Web3 space. I mean, Invisible Friends, it's not a blue chip project, but it definitely is not cheap. It has, you know, almost like a 3 Ethereum floor, which is definitely not cheap, right? So I guess it in a way is marketing to an affluent crowd. So interesting to see how far they push this boundary. I mean, I'm just following along to see how it goes, and you can see from the recent spaces 1.9k people came. I mean, it's a lot of people, honestly, especially during a bear market, so shout out to them. Now let's go ahead and talk about some new projects. In the past video, we did talk about this project called KPR Verse. At the time, they didn't launch their website, and so they recently just launched it over the past few days. You know, just going on it, it's actually a pretty high effort website. Like, look at these transitions, look at the art, how they're putting it together. I'm pretty impressed with the aesthetics of how everything is, but I feel like the website's not telling me exactly what's going on. Yes, they're handcrafted. Yes, the art is pretty cool. So when we go to the about page, it doesn't really say much here. It says like it's storytelling, physical and digital journey. Okay, but what does that truly mean? Not sure. I would say that they have not clearly communicated what they are about, but you know, in the NFT space, sometimes people don't even want to know what you're actually doing because that actually can sometimes kills the hype. For example, like Utes, nobody really knows what software they're building, but everyone's excited about them. Maybe that's the approach that they want to take, where it's kind of like they know what they want to do. Maybe they want to reveal it over time, and maybe they spent a long time working on the back end to make sure like deliverables are good. Maybe they just don't want to show all their cards quite yet. So interesting stuff. Check it out if you are interested in that kind of aesthetic and vibe. The next project we're going to talk about is going to be Renga. So Renga has been blowing up over the past couple weeks. Like 30 days ago, it was only at 0.2, 0.3, and not many people were really talking about it, but over the past couple weeks, it just suddenly exploded in price, and now it's like a 2.3 Ethereum, right? It's an interesting case study because when I look at the Renga Twitter page, they're kind of just showing their PFP. So it's not as if there's like a lot of deep discussion going on when it comes to what's going on with Renga on the Twitter, at least. In my personal speculation, you know, when it was at that 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, around that time, a lot of people suddenly bought it at the same time, and they kind of swept the floor up to 1 Ethereum when I was looking at the on-chain data. And I think when enough people buy it, enough people talk about something on Twitter, more people want to buy it. And what happens is that everyone's buying it because everyone's buying it, right? And this doesn't even have to be a real reason. There doesn't have to be a partnership. No one's even thinking about the long term. It's just like, could it be the next thing? It's speculation. It's very similar to how the bull market was. If you have any other insight of why maybe this community is, you know, the greatest and stuff like that, please let me know. You know, I'm not saying I know everything. I'm just trying to learn just like everybody else. Now, one other interesting I want to bring up, and this is going to be our next topic, is going to be Cyberpunk. When it first came out, there was like a lot of bugs and stuff when it released. released, I mean, this Cyberpunk game was like not doing too hot. You know, it's getting like 13,000, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 players per day. And then now it just suddenly exploded all the way to like 100,000 players, right? What was interesting is that they recently came out with an anime on Netflix called Cyberpunk Edge Runners, right? So it's pretty crazy that this particular game that didn't have a great start, they launched an anime series, right? And this is not even an anime game. This is like kind of like a 3D first-person shooter game. And by just doing an anime, which was a very interesting decision, this game 10x in popularity, right? I think like 10 years ago when we looked at anime, it's quite niche, right? Like when I was watching anime like 10 years ago, I wasn't really talking to anybody at work and stuff about anime because it's kind of like a weird thing. And then now what's happening is that anime is becoming more and more mainstream. All ethnicities and all races and all people with different cultures, you know, definitely do watch it. Like Dragon Ball Z, for example, it's like definitely extending beyond just like Asian people, right? And so when we look at these anime projects, it kind of starts to make more sense where it's not super niche. It definitely still is a niche, especially in the Web3 space, but it has the potential to expand to billions. Even though the opportunity is becoming more and more bigger for anime, I would also say in Web3, there's a lot of people that take advantage of that narrative and they just launch some like whatever projects. And I can kind of tell like based on who the founders are and what they communicate that it's not going to go very far. But at the same time, you know, there'll definitely be some good ones that actually try to build a long-term project. So next project we're going to talk about is going to be Azurbala. I think that's how you pronounce it, but it's related to Jenkins Yacht Valet, which is a Bored Aped inspired project, VC funded as well. And so basically they're doing an NFT project. And what happened is they created this video and this trailer for what the project will look like. First initial glance, a lot of people did not like it. And the reason is because, you know, if you raise like millions of dollars and then this is your NFT project, it's kind of weird. It looked like a cheap 3D project. And I think they're going to redo all the art to make sure that community is happy with it before they launch, right? I wonder who is the art director or who gave the approval. I was like, yo, this is sick. Like, this is exactly what our community is going to want. But maybe they just missed the mark and that's okay. We're all learning here. So it's not like, you know, you have to get it perfect every time. And especially because the space is so new, great that they're going to correct their mistake. And hopefully the next thing is much better. All right. And the next thing we're going to talk about is Meta, owner of Instagram and Facebook. They are going to be opening NFT sharing to all US users. How this will work exactly, I don't see any screenshots of it, but I'm guessing it will be something like how Twitter allows you to showcase your NFTs and show people like which one you own. And I think that they're probably going to follow a similar model and apply it to Facebook and Instagram. So this is great for the space in general because obviously Meta, when they rebranded and everything, they're kind of going to Web3 and the metaverse and things like that, which is awesome. By kind of showcasing NFTs on Instagram and Facebook, hopefully that increases the adoption of NFTs and hopefully all our bags go up. You're still in the space. And you know, we actually look at like Reddit, for example, they have successfully implemented NFT without like really calling it an NFT, which was really good. Pretty bullish on the space overall in general, that all the social media platforms are kind of seeing that NFTs have a potential future and they're investing a lot of resources into it. So, you know, I'm excited to see how different companies enter this space and hopefully this helps us all. And with that said, that is everything that we have to cover in this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and I will see you in the next one.